Hey, welcome back. We're just continuing our conversation. I was talking to Miss Janine about something in regards to no, what I was explaining to you that my like when we mix in my
Yeah.
family, if they got like real light skin features and the
Yeah.
curly hair and everything, I even have cousins like, oh, I'm Puerto Rican.
Oh my God.
Like, so you're not claiming nothing from my auntie. You just going, no, I'm Puerto Rican.
Let me tell you something. My brother, and we don't have a relationship right now for several reasons, but my brother, let me tell you, he has such a problem with his blackness. When he was hanging out with a bunch of Mexicans, he was Mexican. When he was hanging out with some Arabs, he was Arabs. When he was hanging out with Puerto Ricans, he was Puerto Rican. He was everything but black. Any and everything but black. I'm so grateful that I never had that kind of identity crisis.
And see,
Either.
that was what I was gonna piggyback off. I want to say that sometimes that people point to like they don't accept biracial people because a lot of them pander to their other side and don't want to claim the black side.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Then you
think
know
that's
what?
where a
Don't
lot of the
accept
issue.
them, but to be within a community where we are already oppressed, you know what I mean? And we're already facing such discrimination and racism. How can you then turn around and treat your own people that way? Like, I get it because I don't fuck with biracials, with white mothers with that mentality. I absolutely do not.
Because it's usually the ones with the white mothers.
Yeah.
It's
It
usually,
is.
and that's the difference between the two. When you are raised by a black woman, she raised them to, love their black side, to embrace their
Yeah.
black side. They learn all the black stuff. But when you are
Yeah.
raised by a white woman, that white woman try to strip that from you. You don't know
Yeah.
how to do your hair. She don't know how to wear your hair. She don't know how to dress. She don't even know how to take you to the proper barbershop
Yeah.
so that you can get that type of community because you're not being
Yeah.
raised around it. So
Yeah.
that's the difference. Like the black mom keeps them black. The white mom try to erase their blackness, which makes them pander
Yeah.
to the other side and
Yeah.
dislike black people as well.
I
Yeah.
think the black mothers raise their children the way they know the world will see them. White
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
mothers raise their children the way they want the world to see them,
Yeah.
not how they know the
Which
world will
Mm-hmm.
see them.
causes them so much harm in the long run
Right.
Yes,
because
Because the
they
world
will
still see them as black.
always be seen
exactly.
as black.
Mm-hmm.
And that's therein lies the issue. Like, my mother prepared me. Both my parents are black, but my mother saw how the world saw her, so she prepared me because she
Yeah.
knew how the world would see me, and
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
knew how the world saw me and my mother, so I prepared my daughter for how the world was going to see her. Even though
Hmm.
I'm lighter, she has, darker skin, so I know just that off alone, even though we're both black, that can sometimes play a role in things.
Yeah.
So that's how it is with the like I said, the white mothers, they want their children to be seen the way they're seen, and that's not going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. And you can't have a biracial child and whitewash them, because the features, you can't whitewash their features. Now if
Mm-hmm.
they look white presenting, then hey, you got lucky in that respect. But when they have, the majority of the time, the ones with the identity crisis are the ones that are phenotypically black. They present as black. So you can whitewash your household, but you can't whitewash the world in terms of how the world is going to see that black child. Because in your house, they may not be black, but to the world, they're fucking black. And if you
I'm gonna
don't
tell
prepare them,
you one thing that I get a lot from white women, and I'm always having to check these bitches because of the way I look, especially when my hair was longer, because my hair is super curly. I get, even now, I get so many white women who think that I'm somehow a safe space for them. I'm a safe space for the ones that like black men. They think that I'm a safe space. I'm never your safe space. They think that I'm the one that they can come into, like, they come into my comment sections and all of a sudden they're saying things like I be tripping, or they're using AAVE, or they think, and I'm on their ass so fast, like, you don't talk like this in real life. Don't come over here with that shit. Bitch, I don't talk like that. So don't,
Exactly.
now that's racism in and of itself, because you're treating me, you're in and all black people like a monolith. You don't talk like that at work, bitch. You don't be at work with your coworkers. Oh my God, I be tripping. These bitches really think, bitch, you don't talk like that. So don't ever think I'm a safe space. And don't think just because you assume, because at that point they don't know, you assume that I'm biracial. And because you may have biracial children, you assume that I'm a safe space. Because that lets me know that you are one of those white mothers that I'm speaking of. And anytime a conversation is brought up and the first thing you do is weaponize your black mate and your biracial children, you are exactly the bitch who we're speaking of. Because I would never, in trying to make a point, first of all, nobody is ever gonna make me feel like I have to defend who the fuck I am. Yeah, I'm biracial. Yeah, I'm pro-black, bitch. What? Say something. I dare you. I dare you. But what I'm never gonna do is weaponize my black family, weaponize my black children, because I stand on my own. So it will never come, because to me, that is a product of white supremacy. I'm never going to weaponize my blackness. I'm never going to weaponize my black children, my black family. I am who I am. I'm phenotypically black. I identify as black. And now that they've gotten on applications now, one or more race, yes, I check that, because I am, and I own that, and also because I know they're asking to get these tax cuts and shit. Bitch, you ain't finna get a tax cut off me no more, ho. So,
Would you want to know another
but
thing? When I was with my cousins that like mix with white, because that's how the family they keep mixing with white and white. So now there's like hardly any black features on my cousin. They freckles, the hair, everything.
mm,
All their rhythm is gone. They they be trying to dance. I'm like, bro,
just genetically wiped out.
you just wipe the whole
I,
genome of us out. So we
I
should
wanted to
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I wanted to piggyback real quick off with the AAVE. Good. Now, as black people, our AAV is just cultural overall, but it also comes down to region, like where we are. If I'm in
Yeah,
Miami, it's going to sound different than somebody in Texas or somebody black in LA. We have AAV in general, but our sounds are very
yeah,
distinct to where we're from. But do y'all
yeah.
ever notice that when black people have black scent, it's the same black scent no matter
It's
where
the
they're
Yes.
from?
same black scent, no matter. You can go to a country on the end of the earth. It's the same black scent.
And it's like, so you can't lie and say, "Oh, I'm raised around black people," because if you were raised around black people, your black scent would be to wherever you're from. It's not this one general, and that lets me know that you think we're a caricature because that's what you're doing. You're doing a caricature of what you think black people
Yeah,
sound like because your accent is not authentic to where you are. Because if you had a black accent and you lived in Atlanta, it would be different than a black accent from Miami because we
and
Yes.
talk
sure enough, different than a black scent from Chicago
And New
exactly
Orleans.
because in
and New
Miami,
Orleans.
yes,
Yes,
it's all different. Cause like if you're in Miami, you're gonna be like, you pussy asshole. You can't be in the outskirts of fucking Georgia
Listen,
somewhere.
nobody hit that pussy asshole like Miami. I'm telling you,
Exactly.
nobody do.
So it's like you can't like if you come from somewhere else and you say that shit, it's not gonna sound the same. So when I
let
see
me
a
tell you
white
something. If
woman,
I hear one more white bitch say on four them, bitch, on who? On four them? Bitch, is that what you trying to say on four
I'm
them?
black. I don't know what the fuck that mean, and I'm
Tell
black.
me what that mean, ho. Break it down. Tell me what that mean. On four them. Bitch, shut
That
I
hurt
up.
my
don't even
nerves so
again. I'm
bad.
black,
On
and
four
I ain't
now.
never heard that shit in my life. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
That's
Oh, y'all
that
Listen,
just
Chicago
making up
shit.
shit
On
now?
four them.
on phone now, okay?
Oh God.
Hell, just like down south. Hey, what you talking about?
Right.
They be trying. Wait, what you talking about? No, bitch, shut up. Stop. What are you talking about? Just say it full out because you sound
Say
dumb.
And
it through.
Chicago is what you talking about.
Becky, say it the fuck the way you've been saying it since fucking childhood. Let's cease and desist on the bullshit.
Well, let me read some of these comments before I close this particular segment of it out. So Eva Furlow, she said this is a compo for biracial kids, not moms. And if you're a white mom and hurt by this compo, you probably have some learning to do.
Amen.
She also said being raised by a Black woman is the biggest blessing. That's all I know.
Amen.
Miss J. Barnes, I'm glad she said anecdotally because I doubt Candace Owens' kids are being taught any Black culture. Yeah,
And ain't.
something wrong with that girl. This is from the Black Cat 75. She wrote a whole dissertation in here.
Okay.
Lots of white moms on this post in their feelings right now. Lots of white moms on here invalidating many of our experiences. Stop. You might think you're doing everything right, and your children may not even realize that you might be the problem until later, and everything falls into place. There's many things that Black people experience that you may not know, which means your kids also may not know. You might be doing the very best with what you know and still be causing harm to your kids. It's about more than our hair. At the end of the day, most of you will defend your whiteness. Many of you show that in your responses. I was raised in a steady white household, provided everything that my mom thought I needed, and still, even to this day, experience anti-Blackness from my white mom. She's the sweetest woman in the world, but she's white. She was raised, as most whites are, to uphold white supremacy. And it shows up in different situations where she invalidated my experiences and defended the intention of white folks' intentions. Many of you raised us based on your own experiences and don't realize our experiences is very different. Please sit and listen. That was really good.
That was perfection.
That's really good because
I want to know what these white women think the black dick is gonna lead to, cause it's just like you literally know what you're getting in bed with. So if you already a white supremacist, why are you having these babies? Just go get your fucking mandingo and call it a day. Why are you trying to have children? Oh,
Because they
you like
love the
these.
look and hair texture of biracial kids, but
It's not even just
they take no interest in educating themselves on how to properly raise biracial children. They just want children that have that curly hair and have that certain color skin.
The
That's all they know.
Kardashians.
it's also a form of, I'm gonna say, racism as well. And I'm not saying every white woman that have a black baby is, but I'm saying like I seen something where they said because you know how they said the one drop rule make you black, right?
Yeah.
But now they're trying to switch it up and take that back because after a certain I'm gonna use you, Janine, if that's okay, as an example. If Janine was to have a baby with a Caucasian man, and then that baby had a baby with a Caucasian person, the blackness would be they'll be rid of it.
Yep, that's what happened in Argentina. People don't know
it's
why.
like a few generations down the line, if they mix and mix and mix.
And that's why I made sure my kids was black as fuck.
Period.
Yeah.
I found the blackest of the black. We ain't raising no Neanderthals up in this house.
But it's definitely like a form. It's like a weird obsession that I would never understand. I don't know. Like when these men don't even see it. Like when these men date these women, they be like, "Oh, I put a black baby in me." That would be a red flag right there. Because why do you got to emphasize that the baby gonna be black?
You too nice, Maya. Put your BBC breed me
right
black cock in
Put that big black jungle bunny jigaboo.
Yeah.
Like I
Shannon Sharp.
It's Kim. It was Kim and Chloe. They actively wanted black children and they sought out black people. Courtney, the only one that said, "Listen, I'm white, baby. I might be Armenian, but I'm Armenian, but I'm a white bitch, and I'm gonna stick to that white dick." She was the only one that's ever been true in her fucking principles. But Rob had to go find Black China. Courtney had to go get her a NBA player. Kim had to go get Kanye. They actively seek. You saw how they had them BBLs.
Kylie.
They had them BBLs.
Kylie and Travis Scott. Now she done went back white.
I forgot about that.
Y'all see that now? Her new baby white.
Yeah, I see that. Now, see, that's the thing. As soon as they get what they want from the black culture, they want to rebrand as white again. Cause you notice how they took them BBLs out. They took that ass fat out real fucking quick. They went
And then
from
they gonna
diaper
raise
booty to
they raising their black kids to think they white.
there you
Yep.
go.
Before
And true, and I don't know how they gonna pull that shit off. Cause Kim kids might could slide cause they on the light side. Chloe baby, I don't know who the fuck you think you fooling, but both them kids black as fuck.
well, we're going to go on to this next segment. This is
Ooh, I've
actually
been
not a
waiting for
video,
this.
but this is actually, I guess everybody know, I guess, and I think I mentioned this a while back. I said, this ain't gonna last. You talking about egotistical white men?
Who narcissists?
Total. One's the
It
richest.
never ends well. You got to cancel each other out. They'll ensure mutual destruction before one of them give up.
Oh, Elania need to go ahead and spill all the beans. Listen, you need to spill. Go ahead and tell us how you rigged the election so we can go ahead and run that back.
Yeah, because
Where,
he
where can
We
mentioned
know
I
you
it.
get
did
where can we send him some ketamine to get the ball rolling?
it.
Because he mentioned it in one of his other posts, and I'm like, well, and I think it has something to do with that Starlink.
It has
He
everything.
he knew all the numbers. He pretty much just said if he didn't interfere, Kamala would have won. The House Representatives would have been Democratic.
Yep.
The Senate would have
Yep.
been 51-49.
Yep.
Trump
But see,
admitted
they
it.
so dumb that they can't read between the lines and hear
Lines.
how he admitted to cheat in the election.
Trump said
Let me
it.
tell
Oh,
He
you
said
that's
I
not
something.
wouldn't
what
be
he
here.
meant.
He said I wouldn't be here if he's like he
If
even said
Elon
it. We
wasn't so
rigged.
good with computers, that's what he
No, and
said.
not just that. He literally said Elon rigged the election. Now he might have tried to play that shit off as a joke, but like we said,
He said it more than once.
More than once.
every time a white person say something, it's a confession. So he
Mm-hmm.
knew what the fuck he was saying. Now ever since he dropped that he was in the Epstein files, now all of a sudden we got martial law in California. He been
Yeah.
doing ice shit from day one, but it ain't never been on this level. It's to distract from the fact that he in them fucking files and he done did some shit with some children.
We
Cause when
been
that
knew that.
we knew
I've
it,
been knew that. Did you hear what this man said about his own daughter? He was on a radio interview. He said,
yeah.
"Yeah, you see, she filling out pretty good." Who the fuck talks like that about their own child?
But this what I'm saying. Once his name is out in them logs and everything like that, you can't. The court can't. The Supreme Court, whatever form of court you taking this shit
Can't
to,
save you.
they can't
Can't save
save you
them.
because they not gonna go against you fucking with children now. That you can't run from that. So I think as soon as he dropped that shit saying confirming that he was in the Epstein files, and you got to remember, you
But
dumb
they are
motherfucker.
pedophiles, so he gonna keep sliding.
Yeah.
But that's true. But he knew like the shit that he's doing. He needs to distract from it because he been doing ice shit from day one since he got in here again. He been doing shit, but it ain't never been on this level. Notice how the timeline. The minute he dropped that shit by him rigging the election, the minute he dropped that shit about him being in the Epstein files, now you got to punch up martial law in a fucking Democrat, the biggest Democratic state, the
But I'm
biggest
gonna
blue
tell you
state.
something. What we are witnessing now, this is what happens when we are under a stolen, bought and paid for white nationalist dictatorship.
Yep.
And Elon just happened to have the deepest pockets of them all. He was useful in buying this White House, but right now he didn't overplayed his hand and he didn't overstayed his welcome. But here's the
What?
thing to remember, baby. There is no honor amongst thieves. There
Yep.
is no honor amongst rapists. There is absolutely no honor amongst pedophiles. This is crumbling, but they're not going to let it crumble too much because the fact of the matter is they need, and that's why they're calling for his deportation because they want to remind this African nigga, you still an African. He will never be part of the good old boys club because he's not what they consider white. He's got what he wanted. He's got these South Africans over here. They got what they wanted. But everybody in there has an ace up their sleeve on the next person. So we can
What it
kiki and
also
laugh.
was
We
that
can kiki and laugh at this right now. But trust and believe this is not going to get too far out of hand. They're not going to allow it. Elon will mysteriously come up dead before they do. But right now, they need his pockets. And it ain't going to get too
But
far.
that's the magic trick right there, because Elon is rich from having all these government contracts. And that's what the real beef is for, is
Yeah.
that when they looked at the budget, they was like, well, we'll save a lot of money if we cut off Elon budget, if we stop him from draining our fucking pockets.
But in the process, you gave him the keys to the fucking kingdom. That's the government, because this man got all your
In the
information.
All
process,
your
you
But let's
gave
information.
think
him
about it though. We not
everybody's
dealing with
secret.
smart people.
I know,
He
but I'm just
has
saying, it's like that's the
everybody's
part.
secret.
That's the part they didn't think about. You let him and his little mini hackers into the fucking government system. So he has, even if you cancel his contracts, he still got buku aces up his fucking
He
sleeve.
got
Because
all the cheat codes.
he got all of, you gave him all accounts. You gave him access to regular everyday people shit. So you don't think he gonna find a way to use that fucking against you? You gave him access because you didn't know how to use the shit, but he did. So you don't think he built some backdoor shit into there that you don't fucking know about? Because he absolutely did. He built some backdoor shit where he got these hackers, and if he wanted to take the fucking government down that way, he still can fucking
You
do it.
can.
But
Right.
you ain't realized that shit because you too busy. That's one thing about racist white people. They think they smart. They think they know every fucking thing, and they think they don't have to be smart. They just gotta be white.
And
That's the
the
shit they
killer part
operating
Mhm.
on.
about this is it's already known, but it's being brushed over. The conflict of interest is diabolical.
Yep.
Starlink machines were used in many states in the voting process. No voting machine is supposed to be connected to the internet. Every last one of Starlink's machines was connected to the internet. So this voting fraud that they're trying to investigate now, I 1000% know there was fraud. Because if you connect it to the internet, that means you can be way the fucking South Africa. You can tap into those machines
Mhm.
and you can change those votes. You cannot. How is a
That's
man?
most likely what happened. And then he hired those same hackers to work at Doge to get everybody information.
Yeah.
I 1,000% think that's what happened.
By law, no voting machine is supposed to be hooked up to the internet. Every last one of his machines that were used at some point were connected to the internet. Why were they connected to the internet?
Oh yeah, this the one I wanted to talk. This was I was waiting on.
Oh yeah. Let me go ahead and play it for you.
Made a lot of really good connections with the staff,
Oh, this broke my heart.
with students.
Dylan Ray Tillett is a student at the Inland Empire Job Corps, where he had big dreams of learning the skills he needed to succeed in the workforce after overcoming a rough patch in life. But that plan, he says, has now changed.
Yeah, I get it. I messed up in life, but no one deserves to be out on the street.
Last week, the U.S. Department of Labor announced all Job Corps centers across the country will pause operations at the end of June to align with President Trump's budget plan. Adding in part, Job Corps was created to help young adults build a pathway to a better life through education, training, and community. However, a startling number of serious incidents reports and our in-depth fiscal analysis reveal the program is no longer achieving the intended outcomes that students deserve.
My
Fucking
main concern
liars.
is this is not a bad program. These are not bad students. These are students who have had to deal with some tough circumstances, and the program is beneficial.
John White has been the teacher with the center for the past year and is now one of hundreds of staff across the country about to lose their job.
Our cafeteria is still working hard to make sure they're still fed. They're working hard to make sure that they still have the emotional support that they need.
The Job Corps program has faced significant financial challenges, according to the U.S. Department of Labor, operating with a $140 million deficit in 2024, a 38% graduation rate, and in 2023, a large number of infractions involving alleged sexual assault, violence, and drug use.
There's a whole waiting, like I literally saw 3 pages on a clipboard waiting list of kids.
Ray Tillett says he is one of about 300 students that live and learn at the site on Carey Street near the 215, who are now scrambling to get reconnected with resources.
Tonight, I'm staying at a family member's house, and after that, I'm gonna have to figure it out.
And the staff here at the center tells me they don't have an earlier date as to when they will close because they were told it should happen as soon as possible, meaning that doors will close when the last student is rehoused or returned home. Now, they did stress that this will not impact the center's graduation, which is happening this Friday, but they said that it for sure will be an emotional one.
Wow.
My thing with this, I think they recently blocked him from being able to do this, but the fact that he did it,
Yeah.
to me, in my opinion, Trump wants us back in slavery, but he knows he can't have it plantation style. So it's either going to be through a jail or the military. If you take these kids' options away, they're either going to be in hard circumstances again, and they're going to, hopefully not, but the possibility of them reverting back is going to be even greater because you took their resources away to better themselves. Or they're going to join the military because they feel like the only way for them to still be safe and still have food and shelter is to align themselves with a military that doesn't care. Now, let me backtrack that. I'm not saying, I personally have never seen a point in fighting for a country that don't fight for me and don't like me and don't want me here. But I can understand the black men and women that signed up for that because they want to. I see it as them wanting to protect the black people, not just America as a
I
whole.
don't. I'm
So
gonna have to disagree with you, Nikki. I'm gonna
meaning
have to.
like that's the only way for me to say it, like in terms of giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like if you're joining the military, I personally would never do it. Like I
I
used to
feel
have
like the military is almost as like cult like as the police department,
Yeah.
yes, and
because
I
when they
agree.
get in there, like even those National Guard people they deploy into LA, some of these people are your aunties, your grandmas, and y'all gonna do whatever these folks tell y'all to do against your people. I think I'm
And
sorry,
this
having
is,
benefits
yeah,
and all that is not worth
exactly.
betraying my people.
But this is where, and this is where the part of being loyal to the oath and not the office has to come in play. Because if you're in the military and you're loyal to the oath, then you can't do what the fuck he wants you to do. That's where that comes into full play. So I'm anti-military, but I do have to understand the fact that at the same time, on some level, in terms of security overall, there's the benefit. We as non-military people, there's the benefit that we have. That is because they do it. If you understand, if I'm making, you understand what I'm saying? Like
No, but here's the thing, though. I'm not for any of our kids going to the military, but
exactly.
the logical side of that's the emotional side of my brain.
Yes.
The logical side of my brain is knowing that that is the only way a lot of our kids will see college. That
Exactly.
is the only way a lot of our kids will see financial security, stability.
Yes.
Um, as someone who has a criminal background, and I've always spoken about my background, um, this breaks my heart about the Job Corps because it wasn't necessarily the Job Corps, but it was other agencies that I used as a stepping stone to get to where I am now. And I'm still stepping. So it breaks my heart because I'm now in a position where my phone is constantly ringing from people who are panicking, and I'm having to consistently dig up other resources. So this whole Job Corps thing, it breaks my heart. And racist white people can say what they want, but this is another program that benefited them just as much as it did
Yeah.
any other
Ex, ex,
ethnicity of people. Um,
exactly.
but because they know it's hurting some black people, they want to revel in it. But there's a lot of white kids that are on my phone panicking. So it's not just the black kids that this is hurting. It's all about give people a second chance. We need programs that give people a second chance until it actually comes time to support these programs that are giving people a second chance. And it's insane to me, the fucking hypocrisy of racist white people to vote in a 34-time convicted felon, a man found liable of rape, a man who we all know was fucking on kids right alongside Epstein. But it's okay to vote for him, But the minute that these programs are at risk, their racism, fuck them, man. Fuck all of that. We don't care. We don't care. Black people this, black people that. It's insane to me, the hypocrisy.
It's the
And
visuals.
racism is a fucking mental illness. All these bitches need some a fucking check and some pills.
It,
But
it's the
they do.
visuals for me that I think that like you said, when you think Job Corps, you immediately think bad
Yeah,
black kids, bad Hispanic kids. You don't think bad white kids. So when you want to close it, you're using black people as the reason why you need to close it, not realizing that perhaps a majority or a good amount of
oh
white
no, they
people
realize it.
have
They
it.
realize it. But just like they voted a man and voted for this man instead of the intelligent, educated black woman, they'd rather everything burn the fuck down than
Yeah.
benefit anyone but them.
Exactly. My thing is, I didn't like that he's trying to force them. What he's trying to force them is either military or life for
Yeah,
crime. Because
yeah,
if you do crime, you're gonna get locked up,
yeah,
and then you're gonna be basically a slave, a legal slave. But then
yeah.
if you go to the military, you have to be necessarily. He sees that as
You a
you either
paid
pick.
slave.
He's either like you're a paid slave or it's loyalty to me. So you either be a criminal or you be loyal to me and be a legal and paid slave.
Either way, you're
I
gonna
feel like
bow
it's
and
a
break
third
to the
form of
system that,
slavery
that
that we're
he's
not talking
making.
about, though. I do feel that. I feel like the third form is because of all these cutting and job loss and stuff like that. They're going to force a lot of people into homelessness because we got to
Oh
think
yeah,
about it.
so
If
you
we
can go
don't
to
look out
jail.
for each other, not even just go to jail, but it's going to be on some, oh, you homeless. And when majority of the world is homeless, can't make it because they're trying to get rid of middle class and low class. So
Oh
that
yeah,
it's
they're
just
trying to
them.
be push us into
So
poverty.
Yeah.
right. So when you push us all into poverty, it's going to be on some, oh, well, y'all homeless. I'll give y'all a place to stay for some labor, for some work. And what is
Yes.
that? Slavery.
Oh yes, exactly.
And you know
That's what
what?
I
Right
said from day
now,
one.
What they call fragrant laws? I think it's called fragrant laws. That's what they used to do
yeah,
to black people in
flagrant.
the
Yeah,
past.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying
Right
to do.
now,
That was
I've
the
been
goal.
working with. Right now, behind the scenes, there's a lot of people like me who work in social services because I absolutely refuse to post anything online that will benefit white people. So I've been working behind the scenes with a lot of people in social services to put together an exuberant list of resources to be ready to start assisting our people. White people, you don't have to figure your own shit out. Now, where I work, if they come, I have no choice but to help them. But behind the scenes, we've been putting together lists and we've been circulating them amongst ourselves. Well, what resources do you have? And anyone that I don't have that you have, I need. Anyone that you have that I don't have, I need. So we've been doing this in actually before the Job Corps thing because we knew where everything was headed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
About a couple of months ago, about a month and a half ago, when he tried to pull funding, our agency was affected. But within a few hours, because they sent out the email, and everybody was like, oh. And then a few hours later, after the courts were like, pump your brakes, Trump, and reversed it, it was like we were cool. We were back in action. And ever since that happened, it was like, okay, we need to help. So every agency that I'm in contact with, we've been doing that in preparation for this.
No, and during our next show, because we're about to end this segment, can you pull up different ways of or present something about how we can like help each other, even if we're not in your state, but good resources or programs for Black people to go to? Because I know our
I'm not
state's
putting
limited.
nothing online that
Oh,
white people will get a hold of.
yeah, I just thought about that.
Yeah, I just refuse to. I'm sorry, Chris. Now what we can do is send a message out. If you are in need of resources, you can, maybe drop your state, drop your name, whatever, and I can, reach out. But I'm not putting anything online to benefit anybody else but my people.
I understand that.
And when you reach out to them online, make sure they got it. You give the information via Zoom
Baby,
so
let
you
me
can
tell you
see them.
something. Well, I'm gonna look your name up. I'm gonna skip trace your name. I'm looking for. I need to see a video of you talking to me, ho. Holding up a newspaper showing today's date, bitch. I don't play. I don't play. You will not get me.
And we're about to end this segment. And so this is not, I don't know if, to me, I laughed. This is one of those fuck around and find out things. I don't know what it is about people that think they can have exotic animals like tigers and lions
Mhm.
and think ain't shit gonna happen to them.
Tigers and lions and bears. Oh my. Oh yeah. I love this video. Good job, Tiger. Good job. I'm mad at the damn cameraman.
Was Holland?
He know he could have got better visuals.
Oh man.
You're supposed to be prepared in all instances. I wanted to see that, Molly.
I think the person with the camera was trying to get the tiger up off him too.
He should have just stood there. You should have just stood there and recorded because we need to see everything.
Well, there was another one where this lady, she got out the car in a lion enclosure, and the lion, and they were trying to switch seats, and the lion came up, snatched her, and dragged her dead in the woods.
And I love that for her.
I was just like, y'all can't do stupid stuff. Like they just oblivious. But yeah, this is all the time we have for today's show. I am going to start with Miss Janine. Where can they find you at?
You can find me on pretty much every platform, same name, Boss Up and Get It Now.
And Miss Maya.
You can find me on all platforms, Maya Lamise, as it is right there on the screen across every single platform. And make sure y'all go stream Beyond Normal with Maya Lamise.
All right. And last but not least, Miss Nikki.
I am on Instagram is bitch_happens. On YouTube is knickknack23. That's NIKNAK23. And on TikTok, it's just bitch happens, one word.
And as always, audience, thank you. Please let us know. Please send your comments. I do respond. I have been responding to people on Instagram, and I've been responding on YouTube as well. So I do see your comments. I am, they want us to put more episodes. I said we're working on that. We're working on a big project as a team right now. So stay tuned for that as we're slowly promoting that, and we're going to be moving into another phase. So other than that, have a good day, and we will see you next time.